Who's winning the Arnold? We got 4 guys. They could flip-flop either places. King, Armando DB, IRON OGs. Who do we got winning the Arnold? What's up, King? How you, brother?
What's going on, man?
Yeah. We got, pictures of guys here and there. I think Hadi's was like several weeks ago. We see all the pictures, the updates, the flip-flop places. Who are you liking going into the show?
From the updates and from everything that we've seen, nothing's changed in my predictions. I still think it's going to be Andrew number 1.
Mm-hmm.
Macedo, I think he's gonna bring him in at the best we've ever seen him.
Yeah.
I think it's going to be a battle between Nick and Hadi for 2nd and 3rd. And I think Martin's going to squeeze in their 4th. And then for 5th and 6th, it will be a battle between Raphael and Brandon Curry.
Okay. Let's see this Hadi. That picture of Hadi.
That's not Hadi.
That was several weeks ago.
That's not Hadi.
What is that?
Hadi wishes he had arms like that.
That's a picture.
I don't know what that is, but that's not Hadi.
What the fuck that is? I don't know who that was. That was Brandon, I think. There's Brandon. Okay, there's Brandon. Okay, so Brandon's sweep looks like it came up, but the last it sucks. It always sucks out at the end, right? So
yeah, I mean, that's just for anybody when they really, really, really. Even Cutler with his fantastic legs, when he tried to come in, tighter, his legs suffered. That's just bodybuilding 101.
Yeah. Brandon's look. I mean, they look fuller even going into it than usual. The past ones, they didn't look as full. I don't know if he started shooting them or what. He got on board with everybody else and started putting something in them, but they're a little more flared out. I mean, at his age, people don't understand. At that age, after 40, putting size on your legs when it comes kind of out of nowhere, it's not something that you figure it out eventually after 20 plus years of training. They try different things at the end. And Brandon, I love Brandon's physique,
Yeah, and it's good that you brought that up, Armand. It's good because a lot of people always say this. Everybody always says this. Every podcast always says it. Legs are the first thing to go, legs. And now I'm starting to get people who, I don't know about you, but people ask me, why is that? They want to know, like, biologically, scientifically, kinesiology-wise, why is that?
Yeah.
It's very simple. It's very simple. I can just say it from my own personal experience. I used to warm up with 315 on the squats. And I'm not kidding. I would do a couple of sets like during, just 135 just to get some blood. But then I'll put on 315 and easily go 15, 20 times and then wrap. It was not a big, I would call it a warm-up set.
Yeah, of
now,
course.
15 is a struggle. Okay. Not because I've lost all that strength and stuff. It's just because biology and Father Time. I know what would happen if I did that. My knees would start to crack, and bad things would happen. And my joints, I don't want to do that. That's why certain bodybuilders or certain athletes don't let go. And what happens is they get crippled and they get mangled up. Then there's some people, and I put myself in that list, that woke up. And I said to myself, okay, I'm not front squatting 405 anymore. It's not going to happen. I'm not front squatting 315 anymore. It's not going to happen. You know why? Because I don't want to end up like that. So that's why, because you start to realize, like I always said before, the smarter you are, the worse it is for bodybuilding. The dumber you are, the better it is in bodybuilding.
Absolutely.
I know that sounds stupid, but it's true.
With the leg situation too, I see a lot of the guys now, up and comers, they have no calves, and they're doing something to compress their nerves in the back, because I have that same issue now. Like my lower back, I have several discs that are compressed and like just pretty much crushed. If you see me in person, my calves, people will say, oh, your calves look fine, but my calves used to be a really good body part of mine. So that nerve damage in my lower back went to the calves. The calves don't. It pretty much kind of disappeared, the inner calf. A lot of guys now they're starting out young and they don't have those calves. I think it's due to, first of all, you're putting a lot of size on extremely fast, and when you do that, nerves are compressed, and if you're shooting stuff up constantly too in that area, nerves are compressed, and it's not like they can work them out more and they'll get bigger. They're just not there. I saw a guy the other day, some freak, they come out of Europe, Russia, whatever, some 21, 22-year-old freak there, here and there, doing some back shot and back with insane looking. You go down and the calves, there's literally nothing there. The muscle wasn't there. It's not that he's not training calves. It's like there's no connection there to build the calf. Of course, we all know the heavy barbell squatting. We saw it with Ronnie and the atrophy in the lats. Ronnie was an animal anyways to train. I watched him for years train. I trained with him for a few months after he retired. But just watching that, and, they got all the fancy machines now that, put all the stress on the legs, the Panada. Have you used much of the Panada stuff? Have you tried that stuff out where you're at? Do they have any gyms with that? No. It's pretty awesome.
There was one gym when I was in Dubai that I had it, and I tried it. I don't like it because I'll explain why. I don't like it because I don't like the motions. I don't like that. I don't like this type of stuff. I like straight. That's what I'm used to. That's what I like. So all these new Smith machines with that little angle, to me, it makes absolutely no sense whatsoever. What happened to the good old German-made Icarian straight up and down sidebacks? That was all quads. That was all. I mean, you could literally sit down and come sit right back up again. I don't like those new hoist and the Panada.
You're talking about the pendulum. So that one's weird because when you squat down, that kind of hooks and it feels weird. Arsenal and Panada, they've got some other pieces that aren't like that. They're straight down. They still move in a straight down movement.
We got a couple of Arsenal stuff delivered to my gym that I work at right now just last week, and it was the incline bench fly, and I got on there. I don't like it.
You don't like it?
I don't like it.
You don't like it?
I'd rather grab the dumbbells and go have somebody spot me. That's it.
I think I like it because I have the shoulder, the tricep injury, so I don't have that to do dumbbells, that stabilization. That kind of lost that when I had my double shoulder surgery on that. So for certain guys with certain injuries, and a lot of guys are battling injuries. Look at Hunter. He had shoulder surgery. He's out probably for a full year to recover that fully. Sergio, which we had on a couple weeks ago, ended up being a bicep tear. He has to have surgery. I don't know if did you see that?
I did.
Yeah. So he's going to knife. He had surgery. I don't know, whatever. Whenever
you know what it is with me, Armand. I think I can explain it this way where you would understand, because you're a meathead. You're an Iron OG. You understand. If you go back and look at every single one of my training videos from the very beginning, from my first video to Back with a Vengeance to Road to Be King, all that stuff. Every video you see my training partner with their hands on me. No matter what I'm doing, even if it's a warm-up, their hands on me. That's the way I was taught to train. That's the way that I was taught to have that connection and that safety. So I would always tell my training partners, stay with me. That's the first. If you ever train with me, you're going to hear that all the time. Stay with me.
Did you when you were squatting the arms around you? Did you like that?
I just need the hands. I need to feel hands on me. I don't want hands on the machines or the dumbbells. I just want on my elbows, on my chest, whatever. When I feel that hand, that palpation, then I know that, okay, I'm fine. Because all it takes for me to say is spot. And then they know through years and years, my training partners will understand, stay with me means put your hands on me. And number two, keep me moving. Spot. Just keep me moving. The same pace that I started, keep me going at that same freaking pace. I'm going to keep that pace going. So for me, that's what it is. And now all these new machines and stuff like that, when people spot, I'll go heavy on the hack squat. My definition of heavy right now is 5 plates. When it used to be 7 or 8. So when I go 5, and I go all the way down, I always say, stay with me. Now, most people don't understand this now, unless my training, because I don't train with training partners anymore because I know I'm going to get hurt if I do. But when I grab some kid from the gym, I say, hey, look, man, just stay with me. I have to sit there for 5 minutes and explain to them what I mean. Put your hand here. Put your other hand here. This is what you got to do. And they still don't get it.
They don't need to because they have the machines, like you said. So I think the machines are great, but starting out, like you said, the stabilizing muscles when you're doing a squat, it does something to the body where I think it just doesn't make your legs grow. I think it makes everything grow. Your body just gets better. Have you put whatever on your neck and stabilize all that and doing it the correct way. Yeah, it can cause damage to a certain degree. Once you put too much on the neck, it can kind of get there. A lot of people, including myself, I think I got the car wreck, but then I kept squatting a little more heavy than I should, and then the back, I felt a couple workouts like, yeah, I did some damage. But starting out all machine work, I just don't think it's a good idea. And it feels great, and it's a lot easier than getting that bar and putting all that weight on your neck and walking it out and squatting deep. People don't want to do that anymore. It's just it's very hard. It's very taxing. So you got like the machines, and you feel it. Like the ones I've done, I feel it all in my quads. It's good for me now since I can't train like I used to. I feel it in my hamstrings, all in this body part. But all the stabilizing muscles, you're not getting that from the machines, and they all start out on it now. Whether it's back, they got all the fancy row ones. They got some really awesome row ones where you kind of like, I'm sure you kind of like sit like in a chair like that. You just kind of pull it like that. You don't have to actually bend over. So it's saving your back, your lower back. It's protecting it, but it's still not the same as getting that rhythm where you're rowing those, that heavy weight.
Yeah.
So I think that's affecting it, and they're growing too fast. And then the amount of growth hormone, I think that has to do with that fast growth that kind of compresses nerves to certain areas. And that's why
you've been preaching that. So how many times have you preached that?
So many times.
So many. You've said it 1,000 times. Growing too fast. Just today in the Arnold Amateur Bodybuilding, there was a 21-year-old, I think, Russian kid who competed at 285 pounds. Looks good. He wasn't pro quality conditioning, all that, but he looked good for a 21-year-old. But for a 21-year-old, where is he going to go from that point? So you hear like again, we preach this, and we don't want to sound like we're trying to tell people that our way was better stuff, but I went here for my teenage, and then I'm like, okay, now I'm going to take it a little bit more here to the regionals, and I said, okay, I'm going to take it a little bit more to the States, and then once I started winning all this, I'm like, okay, now I got to take it to here to go to nationals. Once I got to the nationals, I said, all right, so now I got to push it a little bit more. I didn't go from here to here. That's what they're doing now. They're going
10-year plan
here to here overnight, and what happens is your body just says no, and eventually and that's why. What was the report that I read yesterday? 58. I think it was either 52 or 58. I can't remember. Bodybuilders died last year.
Yeah.
Majority of them because of heart issues.
Yeah. The guy you're talking about, too, you look at his face, he looks in his late 40s, too.
Yeah, he does look old. Yeah, he does look old. When I first saw his picture and he was flexing backstage, I looked at his pictures and, his video, and I said, this kid looks good. Definitely good. His conditioning is, to my eyes, as a professional, I would say around 5 weeks out. That's to me, about 5 weeks out. But, for an amateur Arnold, I'm like, yeah, he looks good. Then when I saw that he was 21 years old now, I thought he was about 34, 35 years old.
At least, yeah.
Yeah.
But the problem is it's just not the recipe anymore. You used to have like, okay, this is 10 years, take the baby steps, just like you said, have the levels. But you would get exposure at that national level, though. They don't have that anymore. Like you said, who won nationals before? Nobody knows. Who won before? Nobody knows. Or USA is the champion. Nobody knows who won. We can't name those names anymore. So those people aren't getting recognition. So people are like, okay, I've got to get this pro card, and I got to get like just up on the stage, even if I'm getting beat.
Yeah, and another thing is that when I got 7th at the nationals, that was my second time. I got 7th. And I went up to Chad and I introduced myself and we started working together. And that's when Chad was, you know, the god of gods of gurus.
Yeah.
I thought, holy shit, I was preparing myself mentally. Okay, I'm going to have to double this. I'm going to have to triple this. No, none of that. And I'll give Chad Nichols all the credit in the world, and to myself. I didn't do that. What Chad did for me was he taught me how to eat. He's like, okay, what are you eating right now? I told him, he goes, double it. I'm like, what? He goes, double it. He goes, you're not eating enough. And then from that point on, Chad never said anything to me about training. He never, because he knew, he heard, and he talked to a couple of people, and they're like, no, man, King is an animal. He's Dorian Yates, blood and guts. And he's like, okay, just be careful. Like he would say, just be careful. You don't need to go too crazy. Just do this. But food, it was all food. What he taught me is exactly what Cutler did. You know, if you ask Jay right now, do you like eating? He goes, no, I don't like eating this and that. Well, I didn't do that. I still enjoy eating and stuff, but it was all to the point of, like, right now, whether I like it or not, if people always say, why are you still 270 pounds? Don't you know? I'm like, look, dickhead, idiot. Okay. I am hungry every 2 hours. What am I supposed to do? That's what I do. So what I do is I don't eat McDonald's. I don't eat Wendy's. I don't eat Burger King. I don't eat pizza. I eat grilled chicken. I eat salmon. I eat wild rice. I eat clean organic food, but just a lot of it. That's why I'm maintaining what I'm doing. Believe me, if I wanted to, if I got back on Anadrol, if I got back on growth, if I got back on insulin, if I got back on trend, I'd be walking around like Rolly Winkler. I know I would, but I'll be dead in 5 years.
Yeah. And, you know, what you just said about doing that, I think if you stop weight training and just did cardio 3 times, 4 times a week, and maybe one weight training session, your muscle would come down, but you're not going to stop weight training. That's 100%. What you love. 100%. So a lot of but you don't want to do that. I mean, you feel weird. Like, okay, like I feel weird now since losing 40, 50 pounds, you know, going through all that illness. My body just doesn't feel right. It feels weird. Like, okay, I'm still like 235, 240, but that's not, I feel weird in my body. I'm just like, you know, I don't like the feel of it.
Yeah, but you're also a dad now, and you know, the enjoyment that you have out of life is watching your kid play soccer and all that stuff. Yeah. Listen, you go through phases, and some people just can't get out of that phase. They just can't do it. I was able to do it. You're able to do it. You know, and also when it comes to the body and to the mind, the spirit, the gym is part of my soul. I can't sleep at night if I don't go to them. Arnold is the perfect example. A billionaire, movie star, governor. What else? If most people will be like, go buy some island and just chill for the rest of your life. No, he's a bodybuilder, man. He's got to wake up. He's got to lift weights. Every movie he does, there's a trailer of weights that follows with him. He has to wake up at 5 a.m. and go work out. You know why? Because it's in his blood. It's in his soul. That's what we are. I can't. I'm the same exact way, man. I can't. I have to work out.
I think I'm a little different since I've been out so many times with injuries. Like, I think the total of me working out, like since I started when I was like 15, 16, it's about 6 years total, King. If you combine it all, I had no gym. Like at all. 6 years total. So I think my deal is like, okay, like I'm okay with like taking time off, like whether even if I don't need to, like a month, get a little smaller. So I need that, like I'm missing the gym. If I go like 5, 6 times a week, I get burnt out. That doesn't work for me anymore. I have to miss the gym. And so like now, like my son's like 6, like kicking the soccer ball outside. I'm like, okay, I'm planning to go to the gym tonight. And then we do that for a while. I'm like, okay, I'm beat. I'm out of breath. I can't even breathe. Like, let me go. We're not going to the gym tonight. So,
how many
that's
times,
what worked for me.
You get this? Like I had blood work done today. So I went real early in the morning, and the nurse practitioner was there doing all this stuff. Then she starts talking to me. She's like, yeah, you know, I want to work out too, but I'm just, you know, don't have time. I'm like, bullshit. You can wake up at 4 o'clock in the morning and go.
Yeah. There's always time.
He's like, what do you mean at 4 o'clock in the morning? I'm like, get your ass up at 4 o'clock. But I'm like, there's no buts. I said, do it for 1 week. Just for 7 days straight. Do it, and I promise you'll be like, well, this isn't that bad. And you're going to sleep better and have more energy during the day. It's just taking that first step. It's that first step, man. You are a different story. You got banged up more than anybody else I've ever known in my life. You got destroyed. And those stem cells things, I don't think that did much for you, man.
You know what, man? My injuries weren't in the gym. I'll go over it again. Got a couple bad car wrecks, got rear-ended bad. Those started the herniated disc. And then was on Levaquin, antibiotic. That is the devil. Do not take Levaquin, anybody ever. If any doctor recommends that to you, the inserts, it causes tendon tears. While I was on that, I tore my tricep and I tore my pec a separate time. Okay. So it makes no sense. There's other alternatives they're called fluoroquinolones. It's Levaquin, and then Cipro is like the sister, but it's not as strong. That's how I got my tears, and it banged my body up. It sucks because it's like, okay, like my pec tear. I was like, what happened? And I go to the mirror, my pec's over here. I'm like, I didn't even feel that. What just happened?
Right.
The guys now, like Sergio, he was bowling and tore his bicep. I had a couple clients that were bowling and tore his tricep. But I had a guy hired me last week, and like I told him, I'm like, listen, he thought I was going to have like some magic potion for him and all this. I said, you got to wake up. And he goes, dude, I have several kids. I already wake up at this time. I'm like, okay, you got to wake up an hour earlier to do this and get started. He's like, that's just too early. I said, brother, you hired me to tell you what to do. A lot of people, they're looking for some special secret, like we talk about all the time. There's no secret. You've got to do the work. There's no other way. Wake up early. Just try it. Or let's say, I know you've probably got this before too, because we know how important food is. You give someone a lot of food, they're like, well, I'm getting fat. I feel chubby. I'm bloated. I'm like, just trust the process. Give it about a month. Your body's going to get used to that food. And then it's going to start going in good places. You're going to start feeling fuller in your chest, your shoulders, your arms. You're just going to start leaning up. People don't understand the mentality of like, they think all that food, because it's been instilled in people with all this like Ozempic and all that crazy stuff. You got to eat less. You got to eat less to get ripped. And they don't understand. Friend is your food. You got to eat.
Yeah. I got a new client. She's a Persian girl, and her life is, she's a mom now, but her husband owns one of the biggest and most successful nightclubs here in the Washington, D.C. area. And that's her life, But anyway, long story short, it's been 2 months now, and she's already down to the weight that she was back in high school and getting compliments left and right. And she's just like constantly texting me, and then asking question after question. And I'm like, I'm knocking them out of the park. So finally she called me last night. She goes, do you realize that I've hired 100 trainers before you, personal trainers, whatever, and with all these, degrees and this and that, what you've done in the last 2 months has been incredible, and all because of communication. I'm like, that's the key. I'm so glad you just said that. That is the key to a successful transformation and client-coach relationship. 24/7 access to them, and ask as many questions you want, because I've seen it all, just like you. You've seen it all. We've worked with every kind of client you can possibly imagine, and each individual is different. Communication. Just constantly communicate, and that is the secret. And that's it. She listens now. And why am I bringing that up? Because she's eating more food now than she's ever eaten before. And I told her, every time you cook and eat something, take a picture of it and send it to me. I'm getting pictures every day, all these, and she's learning to do this and that. And now she's like adding different spices to it and making it fun. And she's actually going into the grocery store. And when she shops, it's fun. She told me that. She goes, I like going grocery shopping now, because now I look at labels and I'm like, I can try this and I can try this. That is how you become a successful client.
Yeah, you make a good point on that, because we were talking about, we said this months and months ago, King. We both said it. That Boss of Outlaw, that coach, they got all the pros went to him, and we said he's not going to be able to handle that. They're eventually going to start, not, and they're all going to leave him. Now he's got Martin. Everybody else left, King. Literally, like everybody else left. They all hired him once. I'm like, that's just not possible to be attentive and customize that many people, especially if they're competing at all the top level shows. You can't do that. You got 20 guys in a show, 15 guys in a pro show. You can't do that. It's impossible to tend to those people.
Fakri used to get sick after competitions like the Olympia or the Arnold because he had like 8 people competing. Chad used to get sick every time he would get back home to Springfield, Missouri. He'd be sick for about 2 weeks after the Arnold or Olympia from going to Chris Aceto. You know, I'm sure Chris probably takes a vacation afterwards. He's so freaking tired. Again, it's not easy, but if you find the right person and they communicate, that's the key.
The communication is a big deal, and it's also the coach. The client has to understand, listen, we have a plan for you. A lot of people were wanting to see things like, oh, I know you got it probably too, like, oh, it's been a couple of weeks, my weight hasn't dropped. I'm like, okay. And
my weight has gone up. That's another one.
I'll get on PhotoGrid and I'll take their picture when they send me, and I'll take a picture even 3 or 4 weeks later. I'm like, look, this is in 3 or 4 weeks. And they're like, oh, okay. I'm like, look, your waist is in, your shoulders are out. Like, you gotta, things are changing.
I use clothes. For me, it's the clothes. You know, I always say, well, how do you clothes fit? Well, my pants are loose. I'm like, well, then shut the hell up. She goes, then why did my weight go up? I'm like, it's muscle.
Stay away from the scale.
You got to answer. I've learned to answer my clients like that. Talk to them like that. Just give them quick answers like that. It's because it's muscle. Oh, so it's muscle. Yeah, exactly. Muscle weighs more than fat. Oh, okay. Shut up and keep doing what you're doing. That's it. Shut up and keep doing what you're doing.
Too many people rely on the scale. And then I think another thing is this guy hired me the other week, and he's like, oh, this is just another diet that I've got from other people. Like, I could have just hired you because I seen your transformations, and you know, this is just, I'm like, dude, we all eat the same food. I think a lot of people are expecting like we talked about, some special dish with a couple oil drops of this and a cereal bowl with this, or some, you know, no, it's different foods, whatever people needs, their macros, their fat, protein, carbohydrates, everybody needs different amounts, and you customize it. You change it up weekly, bi-weekly, whatever you're doing for that client's needs, whether they're prepping, you know, whether it's body transformation, and just staying on that person and communicating. Like I have, you know, like this other guy the other day, I messaged him. Another guy I haven't heard back from him. I'm like, hey, are you still in this? I haven't got checkups in 2 weeks. Like, and you know, because they're not following the plan. That's why they didn't send check-in. They're not following it. And it happens all the time because people want to do it, King. They want to get in shape. But when they get that plan, they're like, okay, it's real. I have to do this. Well, I'm working, you know, through the day. I'm like, okay, everybody works.
Yeah. And another thing, I'm going to bring up another example. Then we'll get back to the Arnold. Another example. I had a client that competed today at the Arnold Amateur. She has been with me for 5 years. She's 60. I'm not going to say exactly how old she is, but let's say she's over 60. Okay. She looks fantastic. She looks like a 45-year-old woman in her 60s. Blonde, cute, tiny. We've done about 10 shows together, and she's won 9 of them. 9 of them. And she keeps winning. Because she's just she lives a healthy lifestyle, and I coach her, and I know her body inside and out. Last year, she came to me, and she said, I want to do fit model. I've been bikini for 9 years. I want to fit model. I'm like, why? She goes, it just looks more cute and more, I don't have to suffer. She goes, I don't have to suffer as much. I said, okay. As soon as she said that, I said, okay. So what do? We pulled back about 30% on the weightlifting and stuff. And as far as the super subs go, she would usually do a little bit of we pulled that out too. It was all just literally just food, isn't it? She won today. She won her class, but she didn't win the overall. And when I saw the pictures, she called me up and she goes, don't you dare lie to me. What did you think? I was like, I don't like it. She goes, what do you mean? I said, I don't like it. I said, this is what happens when you pull back. You cannot pull back. Once you're here, you can't go back here. It never works. I'm like, we should have done is kept you in the bikini protocol. Exactly what we've done for the past 9 years. And then you would have went in there and you would have won the overall again. She goes, but don't you think that would have been too muscular? I'm like, look at what the fit model last year to this year, it's already jumped. It's already made that leap. Their girls are getting harder. And next year, they're going to get even more harder. And then they're going to have to come up with beach body division.
I know, yeah.
I'm telling you.
They're going to start wearing full clothes eventually, bro, like they do overseas.
Every time somebody comes to me, and it was a lesson learned today, and she's like, Explain one other thing. Here's another thing. She goes, explain one more thing. She goes, what's wrong with my color? I'm like, I'll tell you what's wrong with your color. When you apply competition color and you don't have cuts, you look blotchy. I said, imagine you going out and getting a spray tan in the off season, and you're gonna go and you're not gonna look tan and beautiful and ripped. You're gonna look blotchy because you don't have cuts. You don't have those shadows and stuff. I said, that's why it looks blotchy. We didn't do anything different. It's because your cuts were gone. We got to go back to the bikini protocol. And she's like, you're absolutely right. I'm never doing this again. We're going to go full blown. I was like, okay, so just relax. Don't worry about it. Go vacation, because she always goes to vacation. Come back and we'll go back to the protocol. Don't come in soft. Never come in soft.
No. I think that's kind of similar when men's physique first came out. I had a lot of bodybuilders that are like, hey, what about this new class? I don't have to, work as hard and do all that. And I'm like, listen, if you want to do that, we can try. And once you reach here and your body looks a certain way, to try to shrink that body and look at lean look. No, you already got that 3D bodybuilder look, and you try to shrink that down to men's physique. You look weird. You just look like you lost muscle, and your frame looks weird. It just doesn't look right.
Yeah.
All right, let's pull up some more pictures. Here's Martin. That's the last thing we got from Martin posted. It's a great picture.
I can't see it.
I'm not sure why. It was the one he posted on his IG. It's the black and white one. I think he's going to shock the world? No. I think he's going to look good? Yes. I think he's on a mission. I think he's angry. That's just his personality. He hates the media. He hates this. He hates that. He blocked my everyone.
The Persian podcast that I do. He blocked him too. I don't know why. He's probably blocked me. I don't know, but
he blocks everybody now. He doesn't block me, I don't think, because that's how I pulled up the picture. But he blocks everybody.
Yeah. So it is what it is. It's going to be an interesting show. I don't think he likes it when everybody says, fourth place and the people. I don't think he's like, I just beat Samson. I get it. I understand where his mentality is, what he's coming up, but he's still not. Yes,
matured enough in the head.
He still doesn't have that incredible walk out on stage. Go, wow, look. Okay, is he going to be competitive? Yes. If a couple of guys are off, he'll sneak in there. Definitely sneak in there.
Martin will not win. I'm sorry. This guy says Martin will win. I think this guy looks great. Mofada. I don't know if you can see that either, but Mofada, he's a dark horse. I like him because he's got all the lines in the shoulders. His shoulders are big, they're full, but he has all the lines in there. It's not just like a smooth shoulder. That's why I like his physique. Is he going to do well?
I agree with you. I think he does look good, but for some reason, especially these Middle Eastern guys that are not the Iranians, but let's say the Arabs from the Arab countries, they come in there, they look great in their pictures, and they look massive and look freaky. As soon as you get on stage, you're like, something's missing. Yeah, something's a little off. Something's missing. And the judges see it too, because they mark them down.
I think it might be like over drugged and not enough time, like we said, work in the gym, just kind of over drugged, but the time in the gym is just not there yet.
Yeah, I don't know. I haven't seen too many videos, but when I went to Dubai and I went to Venus's gym and I saw all the hardcore guys that's where they all train, they don't train hard. Nope.
No.
I'll be the first person to say that. If you guys think that if they have something to say, they can come say it to me, because I saw it with my own eyes. I didn't see one person in there bleeding, his eyeballs popping out. No, I didn't see any blood and guts in there at all.
No, it's hard to find. Martin's conditioning will depend on how he feels that day. Yeah, I mean, Martin is very emotional. He blocks everybody. He can't handle the media stuff. It gets to him. So I get it. If you need to block everybody because you can't deal with all the pressure of people commenting on your physique. Listen, you beat a Samson, but that wasn't Samson. That was a Samson that over-dieted, over-cardioed, and came in way off, right? He was way downsized. Going into the show, how do you have – okay, so let's talk about Nick. Okay, Nick is I think this is going to like make or break him. I don't know. What do you think about that?
I would go along with that. I texted him a couple of times. I sent him a couple of DMs and wished him luck. And I said, you know what to do and stuff like that. And he seems very, very confident. Seems very confident. So
he's one of these guys that he will die for bodybuilding. He loves bodybuilding. Ever since he told Boston Lloyd a long time ago, I will do whatever it takes to be Mr. Olympia. And I think some of the other guys aren't like that. They're not willing to die to become Mr. Olympia. He is, I think, one of the persons that are willing to die to try to get there. He has to come in on point on this show. He's massive. Everybody's trying to say he brought his waist in. We all know how that goes. Gets on stage, carved up. It's still out there. You're taking pictures, looking down. The waist is not going anywhere. He has to play his strengths, come in there, big, freaky, full, hard, nasty. It is Nick Walker is a freak. That's who he's got to be. For him to move up, Hadi and Andrew would have to be off. But anything could happen. I mean, Andrew could look amazing. He's looked amazing. If he doesn't peak right, something happens, spills over, doesn't look right, especially the hams, glutes. Hey, Nick could move ahead. I see it happening. Hadi, with all the stress, we've already agreed on this. We don't think the stress is going to get to him because people's thinking like how Americans think, how Hadi thinks, and a lot of Persian culture is like, this is fueling my fire. I'm going to prove all these mother effers wrong. I'm going to come here and just kill it, right?
That is absolutely true. And another thing that could be fueling him is the fact that he knows he can't go back home. He knows that he needs this money to make a big move. He can't go back home.
No.
We've discussed this 1,000 times. And I have to be careful with what I say. Believe it or not, Homeland Security contacted me and told me to back off. And I said, okay, I will. And I already talked to the Columbus, Ohio terrorism unit. They contacted me via email. I called them back and I had a nice little conversation with them. They didn't tell me to back off, but they were clueless. They're like, what's going on? So I had to pretty much explain to the terrorism unit in Columbus what the hell was going on. And they were like, at the end of our conversation, they were like, all right, King, thank you very much. And we became buddies. They're like, if we need anything else, can we call you? I'm like, you can call me anytime you want. I'll help you guys out with whatever you want. But I'm like, I cannot control people booing him. And they're like, they don't care about booing and stuff like that.
Yeah.
They don't care about that. They were just worried about the safety. And the biggest concern from the Arnold Classic people, because they contacted me too, believe it or not.
Yeah.
And they said, we have to pay over $100,000 and $200,000 for security just for Arnold. You know, he's governor. He's like, I get it. But that has nothing to do with me.
They were going to do that anyways, King. Like whatever after you ever said, they were going to do that anyways.
Yeah. Yeah. So getting back to the whole thing with him with the stretch, who knows what's going to happen. I personally don't think he's going to be at his best. That's my own personal opinion. I think that Nick is going to be very, very offensive with Hadi on stage. I think Nick is going to get in his face. That's my personal opinion. I think Martin is going to be very offensive with Hadi on. I think Hadi has an X on his back.
Yeah.
I think everybody's gunning for him because they think that everyone thinks that, he's the one that's going to bring the conditioning and stuff. And I think Martin's going to be better from the back. I think Andrew's going to be better I think all of them will be better than Hadi from the back. I think that from the side, Hadi is very vulnerable because he looks small.
Yeah,
and it's his two front shots, his front lat spread, front double bicep, and his most muscular. Those three shots are very, very good for Hadi. But again, what you just said, if Nick takes advantage of his freak factor, okay, and is aggressive on stage and goes after him, he could nudge Hadi aside.
Yeah. And we've always seen Hadi. He comes out front, great, back, same story, back a little watery, glutes a little watery, not so great from the back. Now coming into this with way more stress, he doesn't have, Hani to fly into for the last 3 or 4 weeks, hang out, train hard, all that. Who knows the relationship or not? Like, who's dialing you in for the show? Like, I don't know if anybody truly knows that. I think this is my thoughts. I think Hani is still dialing him in. They're just not saying it.
It's a possibility.
He might be dropped from Hevogen. Okay, hey, I had a drop you do, the cells, whatever. I'm still going to finish this and dial you in. I don't see Hadi not doing it. I see him dialing him in. They don't have to publicize it, but I think he's going to dial him in and do his best to try to
I think the consensus with anybody and everybody you ask. I listened to Palumbo's show when I was doing cardio earlier, and they had Derek Lunsford, and Derek was giving his predictions. And Derek pretty much said, he was trying to be politically correct and very, even. And he said that he's leaning towards Hadi, but this is Andrew's show to win, which is basically what we're all saying. Milos and anybody you ask, they're like, even when they pick Hadi, they're like, but it's Andrew's show to win or lose because he's got the wind in his sails. Everybody's looking. Acetos got him on track. He fixed his posing, and this is the biggest and best we're going to see, hopefully. So we're all got the same consensus. We think that Andrew's show to win or lose.
So I have Andrew at first. You have him at first?
Yes.
Okay. Second place. We just kind of spoke about that briefly.
I think it's going to be a battle between Nick and Hadi.
Hadi, yeah, I believe so too.
I think if Nick Walker walks out on stage and he's conditioned, I think the crowd will go nuts.
Yeah.
I think he'll win the crowd over quickly if he's in shape and he's aggressive and he's pumping his fist and he's yelling and screaming. I think he's going to get the crowd on his side, and that, believe me, the judges are listening.
Brandon Curry, he looks great. The legs look better in the photos. But amazing.
He's just great.
Yeah,
I love Brandon's physique.
Love it. Totally agree. He can end up as high as third, and he can end up low as who knows what. You got the other guys in there. You got Hassan Mustafa,
big ass legs. Again,
he's doing the Ramadan thing. He's been prepping on the Ramadan, so that's throwing obviously stuff off because if you're waiting all day and then break your fast, do you agree that messes up with the whole peaking process?
Yeah, I mean it should. I don't know if it did, but it should.
Yeah. We got Rafael Brando. I just don't see from the pictures, just going by the pictures he posted, I just don't see any improvements in the physique.
Looks good. Shape's great. Pleasing physique.
Yeah, very pleasing.
I just don't think, like you just said, I just don't
not enough muscle.
I just don't see him making that jump.
Yeah, neither. We got Muhammad Fada, we already spoke about. We got Akeem Williams. Akeem's always a beast.
Love
same
him.
problem. Same issue.
Yeah, some of the best side shots, freaky legs, massive. Incredible arms. Just when he turns around to the back, he's just genetically just not there.
It's one of those guys you see in person or backstage, and you're like, listen, this guy's winning the whole show. And then you get up on stage, and then the skin texture too, the tone with the lights, you don't see seeing him backstage, like just looking at him from feet away, you're like, it looks very different when he gets on stage. It take about like 10% away from that. The skin tone, the whole look of it, the thickness or whatever. And then like we said, the lats are up up high.
He's one of the good guys in the sport.
Very good guy.
He's
very good guy.
I think he's a really nice guy.
Yeah, and then we got Anthony Williams. He's probably going to be, great physique, pretty physique, but we got those guys. We got those top four we talked about. Then we got the rest of the guys that kind of mix and match either way. It just depends how they come in and show up.
Anthony should just get out there and have a blast. Just have a blast, have a good time, have a smile up there, enjoy the experience. Let the judges look at his face and they're like, okay, I want to remember this guy next time. And then from there, go to a second-tier show, make a statement.
Yeah. Answer this question. We talked about it earlier. Did you already cover Mike the Badass not making weight? Yeah, we said it earlier. So
I don't know, but you got to talk to me about that, man. I mean, listen, they measured him at the Olympia. Why are they remeasuring? What do they think? People grow and shrink?
No, he wanted to, King. So so he got measured at Olympia, right? Or Olympia. Okay. Coming into this, he thought they were going to redo his height again. Okay. So they think all the the stretching you out, all that kind of stuff. Can it make a little bit? Yeah, if you're compressed and all that, if you're doing decompression and inversion table and all that stuff, yeah, I mean, you could a half an inch can happen. The other when they measured him, I think at like whatever, I think 5'9", 5'8". He's not that tall. He's like 5'6". He had that gel in his hair. It looked like he had like one of those like kind of like wigs on too. So they measured it at the hair. Then they did it, more down. So he thought they were going to like, I guess, redo it. That's my understanding. And no, he's got to lose 7 pounds. He was 7 pounds overweight. So,
this was a miscalculation by his team.
Yeah, they thought they were going to go, okay, they're going to do his height again, and he's going to be able to compete at this weight, which he had his size. And no, now I haven't heard the latest yet, but that was time. And he had like, I think just a few, like at less than an hour to lose 7 pounds. Okay. It's not going to happen in an hour unless you do like an injectable LASIK and risk, taking yourself out.
Even with injectable LASIK, it's not going to happen.
But I think, of course they want him in the show. It's great for their show. He's one of the top guys. I think they're going to give him more time. Like, hey, we're going to extend this maybe another 5 hours to lose 7 pounds. Can you lose 7 pounds in 5 hours? I think so. Yes. Do you?
If you go through extreme measures, we're talking about the Dagestan, UFC, that type of measures. Yes, it might be possible, but it's just going to destroy his prep.
Destroy his physique, but not only that, that's when you're looking at like you get into the danger zone of health, your kidneys, your heart, all that, just boom, stopping when you're severe dehydration.
And I needed to get down to 225 for the nationals, and they gave me, I didn't make weight that morning, and the time limit was like 5-6 hours, 4 or 5 hours later. And I was in panic mode. And I remember one of the NPC chairmen, I forgot his name, Valentine, I believe it was his name, was North Carolina guy. And he said, go turn on the showers, hot steam, put towels down and start shadow boxing, do whatever.
Mm-hmm.
Spit. He's like, spit as much as you can. And I did. And I called Chad and he goes, do whatever you can, man. So I did. And I barely made weight, but I almost passed out on those scales. Yeah. I remember JM was looking at me and he's like, you all right? I'm like, no, I'm not.
Yeah.
And then I kind of got off, and then Rope Man was doing the measuring, and he got me, right. And he like slammed it. And he goes, get out of here. You made weight. Go, just go. Because they didn't want me to pass out in front of everybody, in front of the cameras. Yeah. So I took a deep breath. I'm like, you know what? You came this far. Just suck it up and go. So I went back to my room. I called Chad, and he goes, first thing I want you to do is drink a pint of orange juice. Just drink. So I'm just chugging the juice. I'm like, okay, I'm feeling a little bit better. He goes, all right, now do this and do that. And then with the dried pineapple chips, the apple pie filling and all that stuff, I came back.
Yeah. I used to have clients, I remember the USA's, when you bring sauna suits with them, you put the sauna suit on, turn the shower on hot, go in there, and that sauna suit, I mean, that will really pull it out of you. But I'm not sure. This guy says they talk about other stuff. They got nothing to do with the Arnold. We've been talking about the Arnold the whole time, brother. I don't know where you've been.
You don't like it? Go watch something else.
Yeah, he said he will. I'll go look for another channel. There you go.
Fuck out of here,
bro. Crazy.
Talking to the wrong person here, man.
Yeah. The best shape I ever got in was from learning how to train in fighting. Yeah, fighting shape is hard. I mean, I tried it before with my friends, and I would do like an hour of whatever, boxing, whatever else, and I couldn't train for the next few days. Use muscles and other stuff. We were talking about Chris Cook the other day. He got into fighting after that. So it's a totally different animal than bodybuilding training and all that. So stretching, yeah. Mike was trying to stretch out and do all that stuff. And like I said, you can get a half inch doing that properly if you are compressed. That can happen, but he doesn't have time for that. Like I think Neil Hill is his coach. That was I don't know why they did that. Like thinking they could just go there. I think they thought like, hey, they're going to just give him the nudge because he's a top name and he's going to be in the top 3. And no, these are the rules. You got to abide by them. We can't give you special treatment. You
can't at this level. You can't, because if they relax and let him slide. They got to let everybody else slide.
Yeah. Hadi wants his CEO celebrity client image, not bodybuilding free. It's all about the money. Well, we talked about Hadi already on other episodes. We don't know. We're just talking about it. Mike, last we heard, he didn't make weight. But I think, like I said, they're going to probably extend it. I think, I don't know what you think. I think they're probably going to give him some more hours to make weight. Is he going to make it? I don't know. Like where his condition is at. I don't know if there's nothing to really pull King. Maybe he'll lose a couple pounds, and then you're kind of like, what are they going to do with him now? Are they not going to let him compete? Because that's the rules. Even though this is some local show and all that, this is the Arnold Classic. Are they going to say, hey man, even though this is like the top one guy is probably supposed to win it, are we going to not let him compete in the show? But if you do, it's like cheating. Like basically, like, hey, saying it's okay to weigh over. So that's a tough one, and
a huge miscalculation by his team. Huge.
Yeah. Yep. College wrestling is 20 times tougher than fight training, to be honest, on both. All right, cool. Hope you guys are well. Thanks for the commentary. Hope you guys enjoy the Arnold. We'll be doing the play-by-play.
No, you and I with Chris Cook, we're doing the RX Muscle play-by-play, pre-judging and the finals tomorrow.
Yep. Yes, sir. I think we covered pretty much everything, dude. I mean, it's pretty cut and dry. Kind of going in, it's kind of the same. Those four guys, and I'm excited for this. I think it's gonna. Whoever shows up is gonna any of the. I don't think Martin can win, but I think those top three guys flip flop them. It's just however they show up.
You know what I'm excited about? I just want to see a good show. I'm hoping everybody comes in 100%, and then it's a battle. I want to see a battle. That's what I want to see.
So we dropped all the top four. The dark horse, probably Brandon or like we talked about the Mufada. I don't know what, like you said, they get on stage and it's just something's missing there. I think it's they have the great drugs and all that. They have the freaky look, but I think it's just time, with the weights and these guys, like we said earlier, they gotta get back to some basics. The machines are great, they're comfortable and all that, but you gotta throw in some free weight squats in there. You gotta put some weight on your back. You gotta do some rowing without the pretty nice comfortable machines. When something's too comfortable, and you feel it isolating your lats maybe, but it's not the same as pulling the weight. If you have injuries, work around it, but they gotta get some of these guys gotta get back to the basics. Don't you agree?
Yeah, 100%. And right now, I'm not sure if anybody out there is watching. They should be at the competitors meeting right now. They should be getting their numbers, and they should be doing so. Keep an eye out for that too.
Yep. If they give him more time, then that's giving him special treatment and bending the rules, which is how they created the issue. I don't know if giving him more time is a special treatment. I think they would give others maybe more time too. But hey, sometimes people get special treatment at certain shows when they have a certain name. Let's look at Sam Sulek. Everybody's like, what does Sam Sulek like? And he's not even going to be in the mix of the top five, but it's his celebrity status going into the show that's giving the excitement, because they need someone
I have a feeling Sam will be in the first call out because of if you put everything into the blender, he will be in there. But I just don't think he has the size right now. Well, we'll see.
Yeah, from the pictures I saw, he don't have the size and the experience with opposing. And can he do it eventually? Yeah, he can do it eventually, but he needs time. He's new to the competing aspect. It's only been 2 years. Right. You decided to compete. But I hope he does well. No hate against him at all. So my teammate was coached by Frankie Edgar. He could easily have won the UFC. Okay. Yeah. UFC stuff. Okay. Cool. All right. How about men's physique? We're not covering men's physique. Those guys, best of luck to them.
Yeah, wish them the best of luck, but we're not going to cover that.
Yeah, that's not us. But we covered everything. But guys, like, subscribe, share, comment. We'll be here at RX Muscle tomorrow doing the play-by-play. King Kamali, Chris Cook, and myself. You know, it starts at night. We never know what time, just whenever they go on. And it's going to be an amazing show. We're all looking forward to it. Anything else, King, you got, brother?
No, that's it, man.
Cool, cool. I'll see you tomorrow, guys. Iron OGs signing out. Peace. Later.